For game number 1, we're spawning in the upper left-hand corner. We have Blazers Krystianer. Players are ready. His opponent in the lower right for Storm Gaming, it is Spirit. Hot and fresh off that win against Wayne, but this is going to be a very different match. Obviously, TVP and TVZ, different in a lot of ways, but Krystianer, I don't think, is going to be one-base cheesing like Wayne did. I also don't think Krystianer is going to be playing any weird off-meta builds. He's pretty, for the most part, I would say pretty standard, pretty by the books. Krystianer plays in a very European way. Very honest StarCraft player. And by that I mean he uses Blink Stalkers. Quite a few Blink Stalkers. I expect to see some of that action. 3-gate, 4-gate Blink. But we should be able to get some macro games out of this. Which, again, I think are Spirit's strengths. I think speaks to Spirit's strength. I feel like he's very strong in the macro game. And a lot of TVP, when we get to the mid game, really comes down to one fight. And there can be a lot of harassment that happens. There can be a lot of build up to that fight to make it go one way or the other. But at the end of the day, that one fight can decide a lot of things. And we've seen plenty of games where it feels like maybe the Terran player has just been dominating with harass here, harass there. The worker count's getting low, bases get sniped. And then the Protoss is like, all right, I've got 3 Colossi, 4 Disruptors, Storm, a High Templar in the Prism, and a bunch of Zealots. I'm just going to go attack because it's the only thing I have left to do. And then they just win the one fight, and it just snowballs to a victory. The opposite can happen as well, but it's unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, it can be kind of fun. Often comes down to that last fight. And it can be a very tough fight, I think, for a lot of Terran players. There comes a point where the Protoss really tends to have all of their tech. They have a very strong set of AoE units and like a good death ball together. And the Terran maybe isn't quite ready with the counters yet. They don't have their Liberators out. They don't have all their Ghosts out. Maybe they have 1 or 2, maybe like a Siege Tank and a few Vikings, but they're not quite ready with all the counters yet. And that moment can be really, really dicey for the Terran. Protoss are usually good at sniffing that out, too. We'll see if that ends up being relevant at all. I mean, who knows? There could be 2 base all-ins all day here in this matchup. Honestly, a lot of the TVPs I've been watching lately have been a bit of a struggle for the Terrans. There are very few Terrans right now that I see taking TVPs like easily. And even then, it seems to vary game to game. Cure's TVP is very good. The last time I saw him against Max Packs, it did not go well for him. So interested to see how Spirit handles this matchup. Of course, with a quick third command center, but that's not too surprising. Now, Krystianer is opening with a Stargate, so he's got this Oracle bumping around here. He gets 3 kills. What did he kill? A Marine, an SCV, and I'm guessing a Mule. Nice little bit of damage there to start things off. Usually in PvT, you don't expect the Oracle to get too much damage done. It's not really meant to get a lot of damage done. Just kind of leads into the Phoenixes, gets some scouting, keeps an eye on things. Oh, the Cyclone, though, going to catch this. And, ooh, breaks the lock on Oracles just faster than those new Cyclones, which I'm always surprised at how slow it is. I think I was just so used to the old Cyclone being the speed it was for so long that I'm always like, oh, yeah, it's got it. It's dead. Oh, wait, nope, I forgot. It's a slow boy now. It's been slowed down. They put all those extra rockets in there for the faster lock-ons and weighed the Cyclone down. Krystianer looking around with these Phoenixes, seeing if he can't get some damage done. Spirit does already have a couple of missile turrets up and quite a few Marines here. Not to mention those 2 Cyclones, which can just get a little bit of damage done even when the units are retreating. It's one of the nice things about the Cyclones is retreating, you're still going to take a little bit of damage after that lock-on hits. Krystianer hasn't really found much damage yet. But neither is Spirit, so we're all just kind of chilling. Funnily enough, Krystianer is going into a charge follow-up. He's got charge and +1 on the way. I think we had another little pause. Fortunately, a very relaxed game here, so pause is not really disrupting either player. But Phoenix Charge was very popular for a long time. I haven't seen it in a while. And I think Krystianer is probably doing this more than anything just to throw Spirit off a little bit, do something different than what he might be expecting. Because if Spirit is getting all set up for Colossi to come out, and all of a sudden it's just, you know, a buttload of charge lots, he's going to be surprised, and that's not usually a good thing in StarCraft. As we saw earlier, Spirit versus Wayne. When Spirit got surprised by the mutas, he ended up losing that game. It's when he's prepared that Spirit, I think, is at his most dangerous. He's a very strong player.
Yeehaw! Coming right on in!
Beowulf. Oh my god, Beo, thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a good time casting those I Am Katowice qualifiers, closed qualifiers. This will help me quite a bit. And that raid coming in helps me fill time. You know what I mean? Thanks, Bale. Looking forward to seeing you in Atlanta, my friend. It'll be really cool to have you casting there live. Oh, the Widowmines here. They are bait. They are bait for the Phoenixes. Krystianer does not take the bait. Instead, he's going to go for a little counter damage here. The bunker will push him away, but he'll grab a mule first. Force a little lost mining. Scan to see the 4th base as Spirit is going to try to get in here. The double Colossus is about to pop, but Krystianer, he's just not quite ready for this. And I think the 4th base might fall. Krystianer's going to try to stop it, sending a few Zealots forward. Really nicely done. Triggering a few of those Widowmines off, but the charge lots all hitting this reinforcement group. And Spirit, I think he's going to be able to get the kills here. Now, the Colossi do walk down this ramp. They don't quite have Thermal Lance yet. The 4th base goes down. The problem for Spirit is he can't retreat, so he has to stand and fight. But is that a problem? His army is winning. And, oh, man, the Marines coming up. They are going to get minced by the Colossi. The Zealots come in now, the reinforcements. The Phoenix is going to chase these down. It's only 3 Phoenixes. They are going to be able to get some medevac kills. But at the expense of another Phoenix. Krystianer continuing to chase that War Prism, getting very low. It stays alive, though. Whoa, the Marine. Oh, the Marine pops out, gets the kill on the War Prism. Spirit with some amazing micro to somehow finish that off. This one Marauder and medevac going to try to get some counter damage done as Krystianer desperately runs across the map. He just lost his 4th base, but he is still up a lot of workers. Spirit only down at 48 right now. As a few Zealots come in, get some kills. So I think Krystianer's actually okay to not push super hard. Ducklings as well with a raid. Damn, Beowulf and the Cranky Ducklings both hitting with the 50-person raid. Welcome in, everybody. I hope the Ducklings also had a lovely time casting the I Am Katowice close qualifiers. I heard the last series was quite good. We're here casting some of the mid-season playoffs for the OSC 24-hour marathon.
Yeehaw! Coming right on in!
Steadfast! Jesus. Thank you all for the raids. I feel blessed. The entire closed qualifier for Katowice crew sending all the viewers this way. As Spirit's going to go for the triple drop in the natural of Krystianer. Colossus pops at the perfect moment. Some Zealots are here as well. It's not going to be quite enough to clean it up, but it might buy some time. That being said, Krystianer are going to be forced to cancel this phase as most of his army is on the other side of the map, picking off units as they pop out. So many Zealots in here. Oh, they are cleaning everything up. And this Colossus has 6 kills on the other side of the map. It looks like the Zealot reinforcement is going to be enough to push this away. More drops going down, though, at the 3rd of Krystianer. Does he have enough to hold on here? He's got another shield battery. I think this is going better for Krystianer. Look at that army supply, 92 to 46. Spirit is trying to make something happen here. But I just don't think he's going to be able to chew through all of this army that Krystianer has back at home. Krystianer has already done the damage here. He could just recall some of this army and leave a lot of the Zealots to finish this up. But it looks like he's not even going to need that recall. There's the GG. Krystianer taking game number 1 off of Spirit. Kind of a wild end there, but not too surprised to see that. That has been the way a lot of TVPs have been ending lately, I feel like, especially on Oceanborn. I've seen so many base trades on Oceanborn in that matchup where one player just sends it and the other player's like, all right, hold on, I don't want to take this fight. I'm going around the sides. Going for the big drops. Are we ordering Pizza Hut? Maybe we should. I don't actually think there's a Pizza Hut anywhere near me. There's almost no fast food in the entire city of Seattle. I don't know where the nearest Pizza Hut is. There's a Pizza Mart not too close or not too far away from me. You heard Chickenman's eating Carolina Reaper tonight on stream. That's so funny because it's definitely not happening after I watched Neuro nearly die yesterday on his channel. Just watched him in person in pure pain. He has for sure got the strongest mouth and stomach for spicy food of anybody I know. And he was in pain. Scarlet is by far the spicy goat. Is she? And Cats is number 2. How would you do with Carolina Reaper, Cats? Have you had a Carolina Reaper? Been there, done that. Damn. I had no idea. I had no idea that you were such a beast when it came to spicy food. And still Scarlet number 1. Damn. I'm certainly not anywhere near that. Certainly not. I'm not. I don't even need to look up what you just said. I trust you. I believe you. I had a nice fresh ghost pepper one time, and that was good enough for me. That was good enough. But yeah, thank you guys for all the raids. I really appreciate it. Hope you're having a good time out there. OSC is putting on a 24-hour marathon broadcast to fundraise for their world championships that are coming up. Their 10th world championships. So consider helping out, supporting that Matcherino, either by visiting the Pizza Hut page to add 20 cents to the prize pool, or if you got a little bit of loose change bumping around in there, help out the grassroots StarCraft, which OSC has been honestly the backbone of the grassroots scene in StarCraft for a long time, I feel like. Been putting on a lot of events, supporting a lot of events, and I'm happy to be casting some of that right now, as we're going to get into game 2. Roddy is also very powerful. I would not expect that. I would not expect Roddy to be good with spicy food. Because I feel like I don't usually expect... I wouldn't usually expect that from the Dutch. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I wouldn't expect the a Dutch person to be the spicy food, like a spicy food champion. I'm like middle of the road. I'm solidly middle of the road. I'm really good about spicy food compared to most white American people. And I'll take that. You know what I mean? All right, game number 2. We're here on hard lead and spawning in the upper left-hand corner. It is Krystianer taking game 1 there off of his Terran opponent. In the lower right, Spirit. who is sending an SCV up. Ooh, that's going to be an eBay block. That's cute. Love me some eBay block. It looks like Krystianer is just scouting with the probe to go be annoying here. Is Frank's Red Hot spicy? No. Nope. Definitely not. Frank's Red Hot is Tabasco if Tabasco had flavor. It's just better Tabasco is what it is. Right in the same line as Cholula, which is just better Tabasco. It's just, Tabasco is only spice, but it's actually not even spicy. Like borderline just vinegar. Frank's Red Hot and Cholula are just that, but with flavor. Ooh, speaking of spicy. So Krystianer has taken his third base, and now Spirit's going to put the bunker here and just be stupid annoying with it. Krystianer is building a pylon in the natural of the Terran, and Spirit is not going to scout that. Oh, no, dude. All right. Exciting stuff. So the bunker's done here. So now Krystianer has to... Oh, he's going to cancel! Oh, that's godly. And Spirit has realized, okay, he's seen the robo. I can't believe it's a robo. Krystianer is a madman. He cancels his base. He's like, oh, that's a nice bunker you have there. Screw you, I'm taking my natural now that you canceled the eBay. The robo is about to finish, and there's the cancel on that robo. This game is definitely spicier than Frank's Red Hot. How many Scovilles do you think this game is? I feel like because there's a lot of cancels going on, it ends up being not too spicy. Pretty low on the spicy scale. 30? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's about a 30 Scoville. It looks like it could have been more. If the robo had finished, things could have gotten exciting. But it's like you mixed whatever your hot sauce choice was with like sour cream, so it just ends up not imparting any spice. Which is a good tip if you want like flavor without spice. Hot sauce mixed with sour cream or mayo. Oh, excellent combo. Great dipping sauce for whatever you're eating. This game kind of normalizing. Krystianer's base is going to be a bit later than expected, but he is still up in workers, so I think at the end of the day, it kind of equalizes. As this Cyclone comes in here and forces those Adepts to finish the shade, which means all three of these Adepts will die. Oh yeah, very excited for the zero space action at DreamHack. Very excited. There's a lot of things I'm excited for at DreamHack. Yeah, actually, so many things. Not the least of which being just seeing people and hanging out with them. But Krystianer is not excited for this Cyclone to come over here. That is 5, 6 probes, 7 probes going down as that Cyclone turns around one more time. It's going to get the lock on to the Stalker as well. Looks like it will finally go down. Oh my god, but it kills the Stalker. That is brutal. Warp Prism is heading across the map as these Marines just kind of walked out here. 7 probes going down is very painful for Krystianer, but his Dark Shrine is done. Spirit's about to finish the NG Bay. I don't know if he scouted that Dark Shrine or if he's just concerned. But now he sees this DT. He's going to get the scan, get the kill. The other 2 DTs hanging out in that prism. Is there another scan available? I don't know that there is. Oh, yeah, there is. This one has plenty of energy for it. The turret's about to finish as well. DT going to go for a kill or 2. But I think it just gets the 1. Prism in the main. Not going to get too much more done here. There's 2 SCV kills. And I think a couple of units. But so far, this has been much better trades for Spirit. Krystianer just going to take the 3rd and try to macro out of it, but he's in a tough spot. Spirit has Stim about to finish. Combat Shield's on the way. He's going to have a really strong Marine push in a little while here. Got a lot of army supply on Krystianer. Krystianer just doesn't really have any tech. He hasn't built anything in this Twilight Count, so there's no blink, no charge. He's going to have Archons. That's it. He's going to have Archons. So Spirit, I think, has a very good chance of just winning this game right here. Oh my god, he doesn't even get the pickup on that Archon. Yep, so we're going to go to a nice game 3 here, all tied up. I just don't think there's any way for Krystianer to not die. He's got so little. Oh, and this tank is just going to start blasting away. I guess it will get jumped on here, but that's going to be a small consolation as even these Stalkers are getting just reamed by the 2 siege tanks. Everything dies. Krystianer down to 4 army supply, and that is going to be that. As Spirit ties it up 1-1. GG. Yeah, very excited to see some live Zero Space action. We've got live Stormgate action at the big DreamHack StarCraft tournament. I mean, doesn't get any better than that, does it? I've been playing some Stormgate recently. I'm going to try to play some Zero Space before getting out there, so I'm a little more familiar with the game. It always makes me wish I had more time. Just wish I had more time in the day. More time in the week. I just need to win the lottery so I can quit my job and then just play video games all the time. That's what needs to happen. One of these days, I believe. Let's get into game number 3 here. We're going to Site Delta. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner, we have our red Protoss player for Blazer, Krystianer. And his opponent in the upper left-hand corner for Sidestorm Gaming, it's Spirit. The more I've been thinking about it, like, I've been really excited for Stormgate for a long time, of course. I was really surprised by the Zero Space announcement and how just good the game looks from the day 1 announcement, and I think that was a really good choice. I think Stormgate has done a lot of the heavy lifting for bringing RTS kind of back into people's minds a bit. You know, it's slow going to do something like that, and I feel like they've really done a lot of the legwork, and that's gonna, I think, help Zero Space a lot. And I think that kind of healthy competition of 2 different games of the same genre that hasn't seen very many new games in the last 13 years is going to be really, really good for the space as a whole. I genuinely think it's very good. And it gives me a lot of hope, not just for both of those games, but also for StarCraft. I'm a very positive thinker, and I truly think that a rising tide will lift all ships, and that we'll get to see benefits for all of the big RTS games as it brings more people in, it brings people back, and I think we'll see more crossover than a lot of RTS games have had in the past. We saw a bit of that with Age of Empires 4, which I thought was cool. But Age of Empires 4 is so different than StarCraft that I feel like the crossover there was pretty minimal. Whereas I think both Stormgate and Zero Space are a lot closer to StarCraft than Age of Empires 4, which was like really good for Age of Empires fans, and for the rest of us was fun for a little while. But it's very much an Age of Empires game. I think we'll see a lot more crossover between the RTS games in the next couple of years. Anyways, I'm excited. DreamHack Atlanta is going to be a lot of fun. I hope to see all you guys there. I know all the casters will be there this year, which is really fun. Those are the people I missed most last year. But if you guys are there, let me know. We'll hang out. We'll watch some StarCraft. Now this game is going to be Blink out of Krystianer. So I talked about this at the start of the series. This is kind of what I expect from Krystianer, just in a standard PvT. He's going for some Blink Stalkers in the opening. Right now he's shaping up for a 2-gate Blink, but he could very easily throw down a 3rd or even a 4th gateway if he wanted to get a bit more aggressive. Krystianer's Blink control is very good, and I think he's very strong with aggressive Blink builds, so I'm a little surprised we haven't seen one yet. But as I say that, he walls off with another gateway, and oh my god, this is 5-gate. Remember when I was like, you could throw down 1 or 2 more gates? Krystianer was like, I got you, bro. I'm gonna throw down 3 more gates. 1 more gate and 2 more gates. Think about it. If 4-gate Blink is good, 5-gate Blink is even better. Now Spirit has to be prepared for this. It looks like he's going to go for a Cyclone drop. This could be very good for him or very bad for him. It's really hard to know. If he's able to get in there, get some probe damage done, maybe force Krystianer to focus back at home, delay this push, that's going to be excellent for Spirit. If he gets in there and the push is already too far gone and Krystianer says screw it and just keeps going, it'd be a real big problem. Not having these 2 Cyclones back at home to help defend could be very, very bad for Spirit. Depth going to shade up and see what's going on here. Spirit is getting ready with a missile turret just in case it's DTs. It's a good choice, but he's completely unprepared for this, and this is a real problem for Spirit. I mean, he's got the 2nd bunker coming up, but he's got nothing up on the high ground. This tank is not even sieged yet. Krystianer's going to blink in. Okay, the tank pulls back, tries to get to a safe place, but Krystianer says, screw it, I'm going in. He goes for it. He's going to lose 2 Stalkers for it. 3 Stalkers going down for that siege tank. Is that worth it? As the Cyclone goes in, the 2 Cyclones going to get 10 probe kills. There's the warping back at home for Krystianer. This is kind of what I was worried about for him, though. They're getting a lot of damage done, and Krystianer forced to warp in back at home. Tries to get the lock onto that pylon, decides to go for more probes instead as the 2 Stalkers come up here. That is 16 probe kills. Stalkers going back into the main base, trying to get some damage done here. Turning off of a tech lab. Stalkers pull back. They should be able to get out. Cool. 1 Stalker gets killed there. Krystianer got to blink the rest of them out of there, trying to trade with the Marines as best he can. 18 probes have now died. I think the medevac and the 2 Cyclones were finally cleared up. So now Krystianer can bring the rest of those Stalkers over and try to help out with this push. But he's down a lot of workers. It is 34 to 50 right now. Oh, the medevac got home. It's just the Cyclones that went down. So now Krystianer needs to kill some of these SCVs. He's trying to take a 3rd base behind this, but he's so far behind economically. Spirit is in such a good spot. A few SCVs definitely need to be going down here. Krystianer got to be chrono boosting them out back at home. It's exactly what he's doing. I don't know that Spirit has a really good push off the back of this. He doesn't have stim or combat shields. He's got the 1 medevac from earlier, so doesn't have a ton of push power. And I think Krystianer is going to have enough Stalkers, unless he blinks in and loses a bunch, which is a danger here. It's going to be really tough, I think, for Spirit to move across the map off the back of this. Ooh, Krystianer diving in very deep, though, and I think he might just have to recall. I think he's going to lose 1 Stalker, 2, 3 Stalkers going down. And I think I was concerned about that blink into the main base is such a... It's a bold move, and those are sometimes good, but honestly, often not great. Stalkers are very flimsy units. And now that army supply, which was decently close earlier, is pretty in favor of Spirit. That being said, he still can't push out until stim and combat shields are done, so he's got some time before he can really do too much. His 3rd base is pretty far behind Krystianer's as well. Krystianer has some time now to get that economy back up to where he wants it to. 57 SCVs just... It's not great for Spirit. He's not mining very efficiently off of that. So while he does have the better mining here, it doesn't tell the whole story. It's going to start skewing towards Krystianer as he gets this third base probed up. The real thing, though, is Krystianer doesn't have a follow-up yet. Charge and the Temple Archives are only just started with the extra gates. So if Spirit does move across the map in the next, like, 2 minutes, it's going to be really tough for Krystianer to hold. It's going to be a while before Krystianer is able to actually have a decent army. Oh, that's right. Spirit joined Na'Vi. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. This is a replay, so it's from just must be from just before he joined Na'Vi. It's really cool to see them getting back into StarCraft, and of course Cloud9 picking up Kumiho. So sick. I know it's all for the big Gamers 8 tournament thing, but listen, I'll take that. And that kind of investment into StarCraft. Listen, we're talking about things that help RTS. Getting big name teams that are also brands. Getting those guys back into RTS games it's huge. Spirit trying to push across the map. He's got 5 siege tanks, a huge group of bio with +1 about to finish up for them. The Stalker's doing a great job buying time here, forcing some siege ups, forcing Spirit to pull back. But I mean, at the end of the day, is it going to be enough? 97 to 57 army supplies. Spirit's army is just bigger. But not only that, it's better. There is no splash damage here for Krystianer. Storm was never even bothered to be researched because he knew he didn't have time. And he's just going to try to bust these siege tanks. Can he blink on top of them and get the kills? Good focus fire onto the Stalkers. And yeah, that's about how I expected that fight to go. Not too great for the Protoss. Spirit just very diligently building up the army, defending against those Blink Stalkers. But at the end of the day, it was those 2 Cyclones in the medevac that won that game for Spirit. I think it was 16 or 18 probe kills. And it forced Warpins back at home. Krystianer must have been focusing back at home, lost a few extra Stalkers than maybe he needed to. And Spirit goes up 2-1. The fact that it's for the Gamers 8 thing is even better. I don't know that I would say it's better. I mean, part of me would love it if it was just like, hey, StarCraft's cool. Let's get into it. But I don't know. I appreciate that there's a benefit there for the teams because that'll help them stay in StarCraft supporting those players longer because there will be a tangible benefit to having those players on their teams. Also, shout out to Team Liquid, who is, I mean, they're one of the biggest teams, biggest esports teams in the world. And I feel like their involvement in StarCraft is the reason why these other teams are noticing. And the fact that they've been supporting StarCraft this whole time is why they did well at the last Gamers 8. And I think the other teams were like, hold on. How do they get all those points? All those team points? StarCraft. Hint, hint. It's because of this game right here. This specific match is why. Not really, but getting into game 4 on Solaire, spawning in the upper right-hand corner, we have the Lacers Krystianer. His opponent in the lower left, now playing for Natus Vincier. It is Spirit. Team Liquid, unlike Twitch, never abandoned its roots. It's true. Team Liquid realized you can make money, become a good and popular brand, while also not being terrible. And I wish more companies in the world would realize that. If only we had more companies that would do that kind of thing. It's very sad, especially in the wake of seeing EG just lose absolutely anything that was ever good about them. They're pretty much gone at this point. You know, back in the old days, we had the Team Liquid EG rivalry, which was just such a fun little rivalry. That no longer exists. But StarCraft still exists. After all these years, who would have thought that we'd be having some big StarCraft action in 2023? I can tell you a lot of people did not believe that was going to happen. As I heard, I think I first heard the term dead game in 2011 or 2012. It was around then where I remember hearing dead game. So, you know, we're doing a really good job here. I think the StarCraft community must be some sort of necromancer. Because keeping this game going for a long time. And I mean, I think it will keep going for a long time. I know somebody's mentioning Warcraft 3 tournaments, and obviously Brood War is still going. There's still tournaments for just about any competitive game that has ever existed. And there always will be, but I think on the scale that StarCraft 2 is at, it's been very consistent through a lot of danger, a lot of potential end-of-life things for StarCraft. I remember going to BlizzCon in 2019, and at that time I thought, okay, it seems like Blizzard doesn't care about StarCraft at all anymore. By BlizzCon 2019, I was like, this feels, it felt like it, you know, it felt like the end for Blizzard caring about the game. It turned out it was, but they made that big deal with ESL, and that was like, it was such a game changer. And even though the vast majority of Blizzard and StarCraft's relationship is non-existent anymore, we still have StarCraft despite that. A lot of other people keeping the game in a good spot. Because we all love it. It is true that all the fans of StarCraft, or most of the fans of StarCraft, we're all, like, old. That helps. It helps. We're not fickle, you know? We're not, like, 16-year-olds playing Fortnite in our bedroom. Like old people. They have, like, families and lives and regular jobs. We're all, like, kind of lame, but really cool because we love StarCraft. It's a beautiful thing. Proxies, also beautiful thing. Krystianer is like, all right, that Blink build didn't work super well last time. So this game, we're going to go ahead and do another Blink build. But instead of a Robo, it was a Stargate opener. And I think this might be able to fool Spirit into thinking he's not about to be hit with a bunch of Blink Stalkers. But we'll see. Spirit has not scouted all these extra gateways that have gone down, or the Twilight Council. He has seen it's only the one Phoenix, though, so he might be a bit concerned by that. He sees the third base going down. I feel like is that a fake? Krystianer's building shield batteries. Okay, so Krystianer is the one actually ready for something here. He sees that it's the 3 racks with the single factory, and very late starport here, no third base. So now Krystianer has to focus on defending the inevitable push that Spirit's going to be shoving out. Blink Stalkers are terrible at defending, but they're really good at picking off units as they move across the map. So I think that's what we're going to see Krystianer trying to do, trying to keep Spirit at home for as long as possible. With no third base and no starport, there's not a lot of longevity in Spirit's build here. But if he's blasting Stalkers and killing them, and then, I mean, Stim's... Oh, wait. Stim's not done. What happened here? I swear to God, he had Stim on the way earlier. Am I crazy? He's got combat shields first. Spirit is a long way away from Stim, then. And while the Stalkers do get out of there with the recall, most of them lived. Only one going down. I think this is really good for Krystianer, who's got a third base now up and running. He's got charge on the way. This is looking much better for him than last game. I think if he keeps the Stalkers alive, he's going to lift up the tank and jump on it. Sir Mix-a-Lot telling Krystianer what to do there. Jumped right on that tank. The lift with the Phoenix was a beautiful play. And now Spirit has to come down here, losing a bunch of Marines. Loses that bunker at the front. Oh, and Krystianer going to try to rotate around. Spirit trying to keep his tanks in position. The Stalkers come back in. Need a few tank shots here. Doesn't want to lose any more of those Stalkers. Still only one Stalker has died. Actually, these trades are kind of insane for Krystianer. And Spirit, I feel like he might have had potential for a big move out, but the lack of stim is so painful here. Even as these medevacs are out now, he's going to go for a drop, but there was a Stalker here that saw the drop. I assume saw this drop. So now Krystianer just needs to have some units back at home to defend. Stalkers are still out here to stop Spirit from easily moving out. Drop's going to come in. 8 Marines with stim done. Still can get a lot of damage done, especially if they get into a probe line. But Krystianer has plenty of units here to push this away. Immediate pickup from Spirit. Spirit is going to start pushing out now as the Stalkers looked like they were leaving, but they are going to still hang around here. The Adept will go down. But I think Spirit's just going to take this third. We're going to enter the macro mid-game. An important part of the game, Krystianer is going to head towards a Robo Bay, but his choice of splash damage is going to be very important here. You really need splash damage against this kind of Terran army. Whether it's Storm or Colossi or some combination thereof. I don't know that Mass Gateway works as well as it once did. The Zealots on the bottom side here are going to do really nicely, but the Stalkers on the top side having some trouble. And Spirit, smelling blood in the water, is going to dive on top of this, killing every single Stalker. The drop on the backside, comboing. Now the tanks all go down, and Krystianer's a bunch of units showing up from somewhere, I guess back at home. So a bunch of Zealots and Stalkers come in to help clean this up. But then there's those reinforcements from Spirit as well. Krystianer losing a lot of army supply here as he's trying to retreat to more Zealots, but it is now 32 to 55 army supply. Scan sees this base. Storm is on the way now. The Robo Bay is done, so we could see like a Disruptor coming out. Spirit did lose his siege tanks, so now it is just the bio. We might have to wait for a little bit more of that before he's comfortable pushing out against this army. Krystianer going to send some Zealots in. No 4th base yet for the Protoss, as the economy is pretty dead even right now. Spirit's going to go for a Widowmine drop. Zealots are going to be able to hit the natural. Oh, he just goes for the immediate recall, so he doesn't lose too much here. Only one Zealot going down. The Prism's going to try to hit the main base. There's no turrets here or anything. Spirit's going to have to be on it with the defense. Same time, Spirit's going to try to go in for the Widowmine drop. Soon, maybe. Just chilling for now. Oh, big warp in for Krystianer, really committing to this. Be able to get on one of those ghosts. Actually, a few ghosts over here are in a little bit of trouble. More Zealots walk into the natural, and then also some Zealots at the 3rd. They're going to get cleaned up very easily. But the main base is still in some trouble. Krystianer not unsieging this Warp Prism. Maybe more focus back at home, although it looks like the Widowmine drop is getting pushed away at the moment. Not really getting any damage done. The Zealots will all get cleaned up. Only 3 SCVs going down. That wasn't super efficient for Krystianer, who has so far this game been very, very inefficient. 41 Zealots have died. And that's kind of a problem for him, as while he was mining more for a little while, he's definitely not anymore. And as he just throws away Zealots for a couple SCVs here, a couple SCVs there, his army looks very strong. It's very densely powerful. He's got a lot of AoE potential in here. Ghosts are out. Krystianer's going to have to use fancy Warp Prism tactics with these High Templar to hope to get a Storm off. Thermal Lance is about to finish, but there's only going to be a couple of Colossi. And Spirit's army is 30 supply bigger than Krystianer's, and I think that's a big problem for him. As Spirit's about to take a 4th at the same time as Krystianer's 4th is going to finish up. Krystianer's economy is just not in a great spot. We have some EMPs going down here. See if they can hit that group of High Templar in the Prism. Oh, there's a beautiful storm to start things off. You do need some follow-up storms, though. There's another nice one for Krystianer. A third and a fourth one. Those are some big storms. Suddenly, Spirit needs to pull back. This army is getting very low. Just a couple of Colossi swipes away from dying. Krystianer doing a great job with those storms. It's exactly what he needs to do right now because he is behind by pretty much every metric. The upgrades are ahead for Spirit. The economy's ahead. The army supply's ahead. I mean, everything that Krystianer has, Spirit has the better version of, except for potentially that AoE. If the storms can hit, if the Colossi can get in, there's double Colossus production now with a potential follow-up of some disruptors. Krystianer's going to have a lot of potential energy in his army for huge damage. It's just going to be whether or not he can turn that into kinetic energy. You know what I mean? As Widowmine drop goes down, 11 probes dying. That medevac went in. That was sitting over here like minutes ago. And now there's 3 Widowmines. One in the main, one in the third, one in the natural. Krystianer doing nothing to clear any of those up. They're just going to keep going off. Okay, hold on. That cannon's going to finish up. This one, though, going to go off again. Another kill. Oh, this one was cleared up by the cannon. Still 15 probes going down. Not a lot of probes here for Krystianer. Spirit is fully maxed. He's going to push across the map. He's ahead a lot of army supply. He's ahead a lot of workers. And he is splitting his army to try to hit multiple locations and try to catch Krystianer with his pants down. Well, Stalkers go for the recall. I do not think they're going to get out of there. They will see that there's a lot of army here. At the same time, Krystianer is pushing up here to try to kill this army. Now, he doesn't have a recall available. So this base is suddenly extremely exposed. It gets EMP'd and just brought down in seconds here. It looks like Spirit's going to focus down and then just back on out as the rest of the army comes across. And then, this army is still up here. Spirit's going to push towards the natural, and suddenly Spirit is ahead. Almost 80 supply right now. Disruptor pops out, gets a nice little bit of damage done, but he would need like 12 of those hits for this to work out for Krystianer. Again, another split here from Spirit. His army's super low, but there's just so few units here. I don't think it's going to matter. He's going to get that Colossus. He's pushing up into the main. Krystianer clearing up a lot of the army, but it just doesn't matter at the end of the day. Spirit is going to take the 3-1 victory, just like his match against Wayne. It looked maybe a little dicey there for Spirit at the start. Looked like Krystianer had a good hold on the matchup, and then Spirit just... It's like he takes that first game to figure out his opponent, figures it out, knocks him out the next 3 games in a row, and Spirit will be the one moving on to the lower bracket finals.